Are you truly ready for the economic storm brewing in the UK? Because if you're like most people, you're about to be blindsided. In 2025, UK inflation isn't just a headline, it's a silent financial predator poised to devour your savings and redefine your everyday life. I'm here to reveal the brutal, unvarnished truth, backed by extensive economic analysis about what's coming and precisely how it will impact you. Have you started feeling the squeeze already? Tell me in the comments. You've likely already felt it, that knot in your stomach at the supermarket till, the shock when you check your energy bill, the constant struggle to stretch your paycheck just a little further. This isn't just about feeling a bit poorer. The reality of UK inflation in 2025 is a systemic shockwave that will ripple through every facet of your financial existence. It's not just the price of a pint or a loaf of bread. It's the quiet erosion of your mortgage affordability, the dwindling value of your pension pot, and the increasing difficulty of planning for your future. Imagine waking up to find that the comfortable life you meticulously built is now under relentless pressure, not from one single event, but from an invisible force that's constantly chipping away at your stability. It's a challenge many Brits are facing, and it's set to intensify. The question is, how will you respond? This isn't a doomsday prediction, it's a wake-up call and a survival guide. We'll expose why official forecasts are dangerously misleading and how inflation acts as a hidden tax. I'll reveal how the wealthy prepare and why the Bank of England strategy might backfire. Most importantly, I'll equip you with crucial mindset shifts and tangible strategies to navigate this turbulence. Stay tuned, because what you learn could redefine your financial future. Remember, this isn't financial advice. Always consult a qualified expert for your personal circumstances. First, let's shadow a dangerous illusion: the notion that official inflation forecasts offer a true picture of what's coming. Many mainstream economic forecasts, including some from the Office for Budget Responsibility, tend to operate on a set of assumptions that don't always align with the messy reality on the ground. They often focus on headline consumer price index figures, which, while important, don't always capture the full cost of living increase experienced by the average Brit. Think about it. Energy prices, food costs, and supply chain disruptions can hit far harder than official models predict. These forecasts can be inherently optimistic or simply lagging, failing to account for unforeseen global shocks or deep-seated structural issues within the UK economy. Relying solely on these figures is like driving a car looking only in the rearview mirror. You need independent, critical analysis to truly grasp the magnitude of the challenge. Because if you're only hearing what the headlines tell you, you're missing the silent, insidious truth about your own money. And that silent truth brings us to our next critical insight: the hidden tax. Imagine you have a savings account with a tidy sum. It feels safe, right? What if I told you that every day inflation is acting like a stealth tax, silently shrinking the real value of your hard-earned money? This isn't theoretical. If inflation consistently runs higher than the interest rate you're earning on your cash savings, and in the current climate it very likely will, your purchasing power diminishes. £1,000 today might buy you significantly less in 2025 or 2026. This inflation tax doesn't just hit your savings, it erodes the future value of your pension, especially if it's heavily reliant on fixed income investments. We're talking about a significant portion of your financial security being quietly yet relentlessly eaten away. Many Brits, through no fault of their own, are seeing their lifelong efforts to save for retirement or a deposit for a home undermined. This isn't just about losing money, it's about losing future opportunities. So, what's your first step? It's crucial to look beyond the nominal figures and consider the real value of your assets. Are your current investments truly protecting your capital? Because if they're not, you might find yourself facing not just a hidden tax, but a broader economic avalanche hitting sectors you might not even consider. When we talk about inflation, most people think about the supermarket or fuel pump. But the truth is, the reach of rampant inflation extends far beyond your daily shopping basket. It's an economic avalanche that doesn't discriminate, and it's set to cripple sectors you might not even expect. Take the technology sector, for instance. Rising material costs, increased operational expenses, and higher wages driven by inflation can stifle innovation and reduce profitability. Healthcare, too, faces enormous pressure as the cost of equipment, medicines, and staffing skyrockets, potentially impacting the quality and accessibility of services for every UK citizen. Even vital infrastructure projects, essential for the nation's growth, can be stalled or abandoned as construction costs become prohibitive. This widespread impact means that job security and income streams that once felt stable could become vulnerable. It's a stark reminder that in an inflationary environment, putting all your financial eggs in one basket is a precarious gamble. Have you considered how resilient your current income source is to these broader shifts? Because while you're worrying about your monthly budget, the wealthy are already playing a very different game, one that most people aren't even aware of. When we talk about inflation, most people think about the supermarket or fuel pump. But the truth is, the reach of rampant inflation extends far beyond your daily shopping basket. It's an economic avalanche that doesn't discriminate, and it's set to cripple sectors you might not even expect. Take the technology sector, for instance. Rising material costs, increased operational expenses, and higher wages driven by inflation can stifle innovation and reduce profitability. Healthcare, too, faces enormous pressure as the cost of equipment, medicines, and staffing skyrockets, potentially impacting the quality and accessibility of services for every UK citizen. Even vital infrastructure projects, essential for the nation's growth, can be stalled or abandoned as construction costs become prohibitive. This widespread impact means that job security and income streams that once felt stable could become vulnerable. It's a stark reminder that in an inflationary environment, putting all your financial eggs in one basket is a precarious gamble. Have you considered how resilient your current income source is to these broader shifts? Because while you're worrying about your monthly budget, the wealthy are already playing a very different game, one that most people aren't even aware of. While the average Brit is grappling with rising prices, the financially savvy are executing a strategic playbook that keeps their wealth not just protected, but potentially growing. This isn't about forbidden secrets, it's about less common strategies built on deep understanding of economic cycles. They're not hoarding cash, they're diversifying into inflation-resistant assets. This often includes real assets like prime property or commodities, which tend to hold their value or even appreciate during inflationary periods. They're also looking at inflation-linked bonds, which are specifically designed to adjust their value based on inflation, offering a degree of protection that conventional bonds lack. Furthermore, strategic equities in companies with strong pricing power, businesses that can pass on their increased costs to consumers without losing market share, become highly attractive. This isn't about get-rich-quick schemes, it's about informed, long-term asset allocation. Most people simply don't have the knowledge or the guidance to explore these avenues, leaving their wealth exposed. It's time to ask yourself, are your investments working as hard as you are to combat inflation? Because understanding these strategies is only half the battle. The other half lies in understanding the immense power and potential pitfalls of the central bank's actions. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Bank of England. Their job is to control inflation, but their strategy is a double-edged sword that could inadvertently make things worse or push us into a painful recession. The BOE attempts to walk a tightrope, balancing interest rate hikes to cool inflation without stifling economic growth. Raising rates too aggressively can choke off investment. increase borrowing costs for businesses and individuals, and trigger a recession, leading to job losses and economic hardship. Conversely, not raising them enough or reversing course too soon risks allowing inflation to become entrenched, leading to a wage price spiral that's incredibly difficult to break. Then there's quantitative easing, essentially printing money, which pumped liquidity into the economy during crises, but also contributed to inflationary pressures. Their decisions on unwinding this are critical. A misstep from Threadneedle Street could mean runaway inflation, where your money loses value at an alarming rate, or a deep economic contraction. The stakes couldn't be higher. And for millions across the UK, these decisions will hit closest to home, particularly when it comes to the roof over their heads. For many Brits, their home is their greatest asset and their biggest financial commitment. But in 2025, high UK inflation is set to put home ownership under siege, directly threatening mortgages. As the Bank of England battles inflation, interest rates are the primary weapon. This means anyone on a variable rate mortgage will continue to see their monthly payments climb, sometimes dramatically. But it's not just variable rates. Millions of homeowners on fixed-rate deals are facing the mortgage cliff, the terrifying moment when their current fixed term expires and they're forced to remortgage at significantly higher rates. This isn't just about a slight increase. It could mean hundreds, if not thousands of pounds extra per month, pushing household budgets to breaking point. We're talking about potentially crippling your financial stability. The time for proactive planning is now. Investigating options to fix rates, considering overpaying where possible, and seeking expert mortgage advice. Ignoring this threat is simply not an option. Because the implications of this inflation aren't just about individual homes. They're about a profound shift in who benefits and who suffers most in our society. Inflation isn't just an economic phenomenon, it's a powerful engine of wealth redistribution. And in 2025, the UK will witness a stark divide between those who profit and those who pay the ultimate price. On one side, you have the asset owners, those with significant investments in tangible assets like real estate, certain commodities, or well-managed businesses. As inflation drives up prices, these assets often appreciate in nominal value, sometimes outpacing the erosion of purchasing power. On the other side, you have those with fixed incomes, those heavily reliant on cash savings, or those unable to invest in appreciating assets. Pensioners, individuals on benefits, and many workers whose wages aren't keeping pace with inflation find their purchasing power systematically diminished. It's a silent transfer of wealth from the less protected to the more protected. This isn't about blaming individuals, it's about understanding the systemic forces at play. Where do you stand in this looming redistribution? Are your assets structured to protect you, or are you among those who will bear the brunt of this financial shift? Understanding your position is the first step, but the real power comes from making essential mindset shifts that can help you not just survive, but truly thrive. So, how do you arm yourself against this economic reality? It starts not with complex financial instruments, but with fundamental mindset shifts. These aren't just ideas, they are the pillars of financial resilience. First, shift from saving cash to investing in value. For decades, the mantra was save, save, save. In an inflationary environment, however, excessive cash savings are a liability, not an asset. Your focus must shift to putting your money into things that hold or increase their real value over time, whether that's through strategic investments, education, or even productive assets that generate income. This means actively researching and understanding opportunities that can beat the inflation tax. Second, develop diverse income streams. Relying on a single income source is a vulnerability in a volatile economy. Explore ways to create additional revenue, whether through a side hustle, investing in dividend-paying stocks, or developing new skills that increase your earning potential. Think beyond the traditional 9-to-5. Can you monetize a hobby? Offer a service? The more streams you have, the more resilient you are to economic shocks and the erosion of purchasing power from your primary income. Finally, adopt active financial literacy and strategic spending habits. This isn't just about budgeting, it's about becoming a financial strategist in your own life. Understand where your money goes, differentiate between needs and wants, and seek out value. This means questioning every purchase, understanding economic indicators, and proactively adjusting your financial plan. It means consuming content like this, staying informed, and taking decisive action based on knowledge. These shifts won't just help you survive. They'll empower you to reclaim control over your financial destiny in 2025 and beyond.
Because while knowledge is power, it's only when coupled with action that it truly transforms your future. The time for passive observation is over. The brutal truth about UK inflation in 2025 isn't just a distant economic forecast, it's a direct challenge to your financial security. You now have insights into the hidden dangers, the systemic impacts, and, crucially, the strategies the financially savvy are already deploying. Your financial future isn't a matter of luck. It's a direct consequence of the decisions you make starting today. Will you continue to let inflation silently erode your wealth? Or will you take decisive action to protect what you've worked so hard for? The choice is yours, but remember, every day you delay is another day your hard-earned money loses its purchasing power. This economic storm is approaching, and you have the power to either weather it or let it overwhelm you. The next step is simple but vital. If this video has opened your eyes to the realities of UK inflation and empowered you with practical insights, then don't let this knowledge fade. Smash that like button to show your support. Subscribe to this channel for more unfiltered economic truths, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next crucial update. Most importantly, tell me in the comments below, which of these mindset shifts or strategies will you implement first to protect your financial future in 2025? Your engagement helps us bring these vital conversations to more people who need them. Remember, in a world where economic landscapes are constantly shifting, knowledge isn't just power, it's your ultimate shield. By understanding the forces at play and making informed, decisive actions, you're not just protecting your wealth, you're reclaiming your financial autonomy. You are capable of navigating these challenging times, not as a victim, but as a strategic player. Take control, stay informed, and build the financial resilience you deserve. Your future self will thank you for acting today. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay smart, and keep building your financial fortress.